Time for Mr. Truck, reviewing the latest innovations for your truck and trailer.
This is Mr. Truck TV. We are up here in the Rockies. This is Kent and Chuck. Kelsey's got some sick little ones, so she's not with us till next week. But Chuck, this is the 2020 Silverado HD 2500, brand new. The new HD series with that new 6.6 gas engine, V8, and a 6-speed carryover transmission. And we're pulling the good old Iron Bull dump trailer, one of my test trailers, with the trailer weighs 5,000 pounds. The rock weighs whatever that was, 8,500. So we're 13,500 in payload, which is really close. The bumper pull on this, as I recall, is 14,500. So we get 1,000 pounds of spare, and that kind of equals us and our cameras for payload. So we're doing really well with this truck. We're going to check out the grade shifting on the way down the mountain, power on the way up the mountain, and we're up here in the Rockies in our normal place, trying out this new microphone. I don't think the wind is going to catch this one. So come join us. Wait a minute, hold the phone. What's our power, Chuck?
Got 401 horsepower with 464 foot-pounds of torque.
You did good. You remembered that for a long time. That's great. So come join us while we go through the mountains.
Yep, you probably thought I was done moving, but besides 30 boxes to sort through, I also have 2 trailers still full of junk. So now it's time that I got rid of everything out of the trailers. And hopefully we're down to my son's last parts car for his Audis. Get that unloaded. I'll have another trailer freed up. But oh yes, I almost forgot my RV trailer, my toy hauler. It's clear full, it's packed, but it'll get empty. I'll get it sorted.
This was not an easy place to back a trailer up. Barely had room to get the truck in there, but I got that trailer in the install. So we got it accomplished. Mr. Truck here with another trailer accessory review. This time it's about trailer tires. Trailer tires are the bane of my existence. In the last 2 years I had 5 trailer tire blowouts. Each time it happens, it tears up a fender, cracks my clearance lights, demolishes my license plates. Trailer tires are so close together they throw nails at each other. And if you've trailered much, you know that trailer tires are not the best made. There's only a handful that are any good. And they're not as good as truck tires. So I wanted a way to monitor my air pressure and my heat on my trailer tires, so I know when something's about to happen. Before it happens, it costs me a pile of money. Now you can know what you can't see. Real-time tire pressure and temperature. There's a low battery alarm, a high pressure alarm, a low pressure alarm, high heat alarm. So I wanted one that would go inside the tire like they do on my truck. And you know, I've tried those kind that just screw on your valve stem. They're about the size of golf balls. And of course, if you got a horse tied to the trailer, he'll paw it off or chew it off. And those are like 50 bucks a piece, so they're easy to get stolen too. Everything I was looking for was in this unit. The tire pressure unit's inside the tire, out of the way. Just one repeater on the trailer to amplify the wireless signal to the truck, and just a wireless receiver monitor in the truck. So Chuck, isn't this a cool step? That's a new thing for 2020. So you can get up there,
Oh yeah.
and you can get to that crossover toolbox that you couldn't reach before. I love that. I like these wheels. Now look, there's this back step. This is my favorite. Truck should have a bumper like the Avalanche with the step. And it's got a bigger hole in the pocket, because you know, a lot of that stuff where the tailgate folds down or pops out, you know, you can't really do that with the trailer on. Another thing I want to test in the wind with this trailer, where is it? I've got a remote. So actually, I want you to run the remote, just like it always is. So I'm using my new Zoom microphone. But what I want to find out here, of course, we got a lot of stuff here, Jackson away and everything else. But this hitch is also tall. This is my only trailer with a tall hitch, because I have this Gen Y shock absorbing torsion hitch. And so that means this tailgate cannot drop. So my question is, does this truck have a sensor somewhere in one of these cameras that tells me when I'm hooked to a trailer, so I shouldn't be dropping my tailgate? I want to know that, so I'm going to try it. One of these pockets is the remote control, And I'm going to try my darndest to catch it if it doesn't stop, because I don't really want to cause problems with the truck. So let's see if this works. Nope, no sensor, nothing to keep it from crashing. I was hoping it did, because I am hoping the GMC on their Pro tailgate, that tri-folds and all that it has some kind of sensor, because that will definitely hit the hitch on every trailer. But this one just on the tall ones. But that surprises me. It doesn't have some way of stopping me, because, you know, when you got all these buttons to push, you like to play with them. So we proved that we can't do that. But this is my dump trailer. And as Chuck can see, this thing, we're 16 feet long, 8 feet wide. We've got it full of crushed cement. We're at 13,500. With 7,000 pound axles, I can go to 14,000. But it's an iron bolt. It's got big 10-inch I-beam and all that. Great trailer. I use it all the time. This is what we moved with. We haul trash with it. We haul hay with it. We haul everything with it. I'm going to haul a lot of rock to my yard with it. But it's a great dump trailer. Really well made. Everything's super duty. It's got places to tie things down. It's got a wonderful tarp. I have used this so many different ways. And I was always able to tie it, even with having water totes on each end, the big dip in the middle. I was able to tie everything down, never cut a hole in it. Very powerful. We've hauled a lot of crap in this too, and it never have hurt this tarp. I love the tarp. It rolls up, and then you can dump any way you want. We're going to be dumping all kinds of rock with this in my yard. But now, I love this trailer. It's the Iron Bolt's a dumper. It's a 16-footer, 8 feet wide, because I've actually had Dodgezilla on this with the ramps. So I like a wider trailer like that. And the sides fold down, so you can load stuff from the side. And we did that a lot in our big move out to eastern Colorado. Okay, it's time to run up and down the mountains. So the mirrors don't power telescope, they're power adjustable, but they are power fold, which is getting me really nice in these parking lots of these big trucks. You got to get everything tucked in out of the way. And yes, it is a 7-inch screen there in the middle, which is good. And let me show you, that's your brake controller. Then of course it has 12 outlet. It's got the, I think that is the C, the USB-C. And then yeah, you can see all the other cool stuff. But that is what your dash looks like. And the knobs that I like the big rubberized knobs. So we're doing good, but that's what the interior is. And on the this side, the left side of the steering wheel is all your other controls. And a tow haul mode now, instead of a button on your stem, you move this knob, which takes a little bit to get used to. Just like this little switch in the steering wheel, you move it up and down now instead of having buttons. So the top and bottom buttons aren't real, but the left and right ones are, and then you use this little toggle switch. But yeah, that's what the new interior controls are. These trucks just like they are in the 1500 from 2019. But I like the readout in the dash. I think that's more than adequate the way I drive. Well, now we're at the damn store on our way to Estes. But we're pulling a different weight now. Kelsey's kids are sick, so she couldn't make it. But hopefully next week she'll be here with the F-250. 2020 HD 2500 Silverado. I'll turn the fan down a little here. And it's got the new 6.6 gas engine, 6-speed automatic. And we're taking this up the mountains, pulling 13,500. That is the 5,000-pound trailer and 8,500 pounds of crushed concrete, which we're going to use in my new yard because it's sand. So we got to dump some in the circle drive and dump some in where I parked the trailers. We have 4 trailers parked there up on a little hill, so we've got to haul a lot of rock in there. So that's what we're doing. So we use the same trailer, same load next week for the Ford with that 7.3 gas. So we'll be comparing the gas, heavy duty, super duty kind of thing. And this is one of the best views on the way to Estes. Is one off of, is this 34?
Yep.
Yeah, lots of tall rocks in here. Always like the view here. Next week we may go through the other one, 36, Highway 36 with Kelsey, we'll find out. But real similar grades. And this is, you know, the old 6-speed in here, which, you know, they did for dependability. That's a well-established engine, but I was kind of hoping they'd go with the 6-speed. I think, you know, the competition is 8-speed and 10-speed. You would think that would kind of be part of what they do. And now they changed the axle ratio to a 373. I like the 410, and I think this would do better at towing with the 410. But it is what it is, and that's how we're testing it now. I just helped Andre do these runs with the gooseneck. We had 16,000 pounds, and this one did 10 brake applications coming down the Ike, and the Ford just did one better at 9. But going up it, the Ford beat this by 3 full minutes on that 8-mile run up the Ike at 7% grade, going to 11,000 feet. But now what we're trying to do is, then we're up here, from 8 to 10,000 feet, and a lot of switchbacks, so we don't get a lot of speed out of this. I mean, you're lucky if you can get to 45 on all these highways going in the mountains like this, the switchbacks. But this is the new rig now. It's longer, much longer cab. It's a longer, basically everything. The camera's on me or not? Let's see. Well, it's a wide angle, so it gets a lot, but I never know exactly what. At least the GoPro has a screen on it. This is a Sony. But anyway, I guess we just want to look at you, Chuck. I got my cousins Chuck and Betty with me helping me because Kelsey couldn't do it, so they're my standby people. And what's the bicycles on the road today? Now this bed, I think it's a 6'10" now. It was like a 6'6". Everything's 4 inches. The cab's 4 inches longer. The bed's 4 inches longer. And this has a gooseneck on it, but I'm not going to tow a gooseneck with it yet. But so we're pulling 13,005. The trailer can go up to 14, and actually that's what this is rated at. It gets it right at 14.5 for a bumper pull. Then it's of course over 16 on a gooseneck. Yeah,
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Some of us have to work all the time, never get to watch football, but I gotta get you back so you can see the game. But yeah, that's how it is. No rest for the wicked or the weary. So I'm both of those, wicked and weary. Did you know that? Oh, look, we can get some Colorado cherries and jellies. Oh man, we gotta stop there and way back.
Free samples.
Yeah. Oh, here's the Thunder. Now this one, I've noticed the grade shifting is pretty successful on it, even with the 6-speed. I would love 10 speeds, but 6 speeds will have more RPM per gear, and I think that helps with grade shifting, and it would help you with the turbo. So there's a whole nother calibration that they've got to do on these 10 speeds. It's Ford does it on some, and hopefully Chevy will on others. But this one is, the old school. This is, I think this is a push rod design, but I think it's direct injection. Now this puppy's got those new mirrors, which I'm getting used to them. It's a single arm, like what Ram has. Ford has the double arm, and so does Toyota and Nissan. But this truck, it's not a speed demon, but it is much. I think it's a better machine than the 6-liter. 6-liter with this same transmission had one of the lowest warranty rates of any of the GM transmissions. So they, it's a very, very good transmission. I'm just always trying to get more, When everybody else says 10-speed and 8-speed, you keep thinking that they should all have it. But they've done well with this. It's just not super powerful. I think a new lower axle ratio and a 10-speed would really help the acceleration on this, where you keep catching that next gear at a lower RPM just to get into the next gear, which will help on fuel mileage. And I think it helps you for climbing, because you can get through more gears and hold your gear better. Oh, then the bicycle right in the middle of my lane. It's illegal now to run over bicycles?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Definitely illegal.
Yeah, and they get all upset about it.
Give them 3 feet too. They're,
oh, really?
Wow, shit.
Holy cow. It's an organ donor. He's a motorcyclist with no helmet.
He's an organ donor, all right.
Yeah. If you
Passing you when you were trying to pull over.
I'm running about 3,800 RPM, and I wish I knew what gear it was. Come on, Chevy, give me some gears so I can watch it shift like Ram and Ford do. I would appreciate that. But we're going to do some things with this, because this has the push-button tailgate. And, excuse me, I've always wondered is if there is a trailer like this back there with a tall hitch. And we know if I drop the tailgate, it'll hit the hitch, bend the tailgate. So I'm going to try it, pushing the button and filming it, and see if it stops it, if it keeps it from unlocking or opening. Because that's going to be interesting. Of course, we're not going to try to hurt the tailgate. We're going to catch it. At least I hope we catch it. But that's what we're going to do. I want to see how that works. Another thing I want to show you is this armrest, which is, I love a 6 seatbelt configuration. It's my favorite. My last truck I screwed up, couldn't find one. But on all the trucks I've been in with the 6 seatbelt configuration, this, when it folds down from a seat to a console, you have storage. Why not? Some of them have storage even under the bottom piece. Storage, storage, storage. Now this is a custom. This is not a work truck. It's one above that, but it's certainly not into the high-end LTs or LTZs or any of that. So what that is, and what's unusual about that is this has no storage in the armrest. It's got a little thing to pull up the armrest to fold it, but I've tried every direction I can to open this. Chuck, you can do that. Try to figure out if there's any way to open that console. I don't think there is. But that's just my theory. That could be full of beans. That happened to me once, and I was full of beans. But I have not found any secret passage in there or anything. So if any of you know how to get into this 2020 custom center armrest, I would love to know it. And what's nice about this, and I think Ford copied that for this year, that the tow haul mode, once you put it on, it stays on. So you don't have to, every time you jump in after going to the bathroom or getting gas, you don't have to go and reset everything. I like that. And if I want to turn it off, I will do that. But anyway, you got my phone, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're inspecting that, checking out the switchbacks, and another thing about this truck, which I'm trying to figure out, because Chevy's reputation on these big trucks has always been that they were the softest ride, and that's been that way for years. But this one, and you know, Andre and I noticed it in TFL trucks I run, that it felt like it was hitting the bump stops. We had a camera on it, it really wasn't hitting the bump stops, but it rode rough. Now we're on a really smooth highway now, so you're not feeling it, but I have driven this a lot. I've hauled some stuff out, hauled these rocks out, hauled everything, and loaded or empty, it rides pretty rough for a Chevy. It's just not their reputation. So I don't know if there's something they can do to adjust it. Because it has like 4 leaf springs. It's got more leaf springs than Ford does. And that's another thing. Both of this, what we learned with TFL truck and Andre, is both of these squat about 4 inches with 16,000 pounds of gooseneck, which to me is a lot. I mean, especially if it's a rough riding truck, that means it should not squat much. You got more springs, thicker springs. They stretched these out for a better ride, but this has always had that special axle thing on it for the last 5 years, I think from 2015, that it would, that the axles are not in the middle of the leaf spring, but forward, and that usually gave it a better ride and less squat. So I like that idea, and I think it's still that way for this truck, but for some reason it's riding rougher, and I don't know. These are big tires on here. I can't really blame the tires. But maybe we'll get to the bottom of that. I would like to know why this is a rougher riding truck than, say, last year's Chevy Silverado HD 2500. But anyway, you can hear the thunder coming out of this thing when it wraps up. But grade shifting, I'm actually pretty happy with that, because you hit the brakes, it'll shift down, it'll wrap up like it's supposed to, and let the RPMs hold you coming downhill. So I'm pretty happy with how that's working on this. And the extra size, I mean, I even like the extra bed. You know, you're getting harder and harder to park any of these big trucks at Walmart. But, you know, I mean, it's longer cab. You always got to have more room back there. And that's, everybody's buying crew cabs because it's families, it's everybody. Me, I just throw a lot of stuff back there. And then the longer bed, I'm at least like to have a 6'6", and I got a 5'6", and I miss that extra foot. Would give you higher towing capacity too on my Ford. But yeah. A few things, but yeah, I like the way this engine sounds. You hear that roaring thunder. The 6.6, I think it's a better choice for this truck than the 6-liter was. So now we're getting right up there, because Hemi from Ram is a 6.4, Ford is a 7.3. So Ford has the biggest motor. But, and then the hood scoop, that's another thing. I gotta stop whining, because I like this truck for a lot of reasons. I mean, I like the way it looks. This has a Silverado monochromatic bar going above the grill, and I think that makes it stand out and look better. I mean, I really like the High Country with all that chrome on it. But what irritates me is this gas engine. They put hood scoops on all of them now. Last year it was just the diesels, or the last few years. And I like the idea of the hood scoop, but they put a fake hood scoop on the gas. So now they're like Toyota, fake hood scoops everywhere. So, and you know, and yeah, it looks cool, but this also has a very tall hood. And your parallel parking trailers and all the stuff you end up doing, you need better visibility, and that hood scoop is something that does not help your visibility. So hope you're enjoying the mountain scenery, because it is gorgeous up here. It's one of the most scenic roads going through the Rockies. It's 34. Going around Loveland Lake. Oh, can you put that armrest down?
That's what I was trying to do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do you put it down?
There's a lever on my side, a little strap.
Oh,
It's a little piece of nylon. It's up high. It's up halfway up the seat.
Halfway up the seat. Okay. Okay, buddy, push. There we go.
No hidden compartment, huh?
I was trying to.
No storage, man. I'd rather have. Look, my phone stayed in place. Wow.
No, she put it back.
Betty's on top of things back there.
No, sure.
Wow, it's 66 in February. Holy cow. In the high country.
And tomorrow it's supposed to be 20.
Oh, tomorrow's 20 and snowing, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My Russian friend, Andre, just called me and called off one of our runs tomorrow in the mountains because of the snow. And Andre is so good about watching the weather. He knows what's going on everywhere. He decides when we go and when we don't go. I'm in a sand hill, so I need a little rain, a little snow, just to make this
Make the change.
So the sand holds you up, so you don't sink into like quicksand. Because I buried this trailer there the other day, and Andre with his H2 Hummer came and pulled me out. And I don't think this one has as many cameras, but you know, Chevy's gotten really well known for their cameras. And I love the door sticker in the door. It tells you everything you want to know about towing trailers, about your weights. That's so important. Ford's the worst. Ford, you have to look at 20 pages on the web to find the numbers you're looking for. And Ram, you put your VIN number in a certain page, and it'll tell you everything. So Ford gets with the times and gives us more information. Because that's important towing trailers. You need to know what your max tongue weight is, max trailer weight is, what your max combined weight, what your rear axle weight rating is. All that information is what keeps you safe and me safe if I'm following you. So, anyway. Yeah, the grade shifting is really good on this. I have the tow haul mode on, like I was saying. It stays on until you shut it off. I appreciate that. But this is, you may think it's shifting too often, but I think it's just right. I mean, in that narrow band of a 6-speed, it's constantly keeping me at the speed. So the RPMs are bouncing from, say, 2,000 up to, say, 3,500 RPM. I know a lot of people were wanting to get a bigger gas engine and not have to spend 11 grand to get a diesel. So I think the big block engines are coming back. And there is a market for them. And, you know, I would have a hard time trying to pay out 11 grand for a diesel unless I was towing all the time. Then it wouldn't be much of a choice. You'd have to go diesel. But if you're only towing occasionally, sometimes you just can't afford the diesel, even if they get 20 miles to the gallon. And a gas engine, you know, well, some of them will get 20, 23, some will get 17. But loaded, nothing beats a diesel because you're low RPMs, which definitely helps you get better fuel mileage. And you got all the power in the world. You got exhaust brake. You're towing in the mountains, you're towing heavy loads. Exhaust brake will save your life. Even if Ford calls them an engine brake, which they're not. I know the turbo's attached to the engine, but that's not an engine brake. Engine brake is like a Jacobs brake, like in the semis, you know, where it's got a slave valve and a regular valve pumps up oil pressure and then opens your exhaust valve a little bit and however many cylinders you set it for. That's an engine brake. And I wish Ford would stop confusing people by calling their exhaust brake an engine brake, because people think they got a Jacobs or something. And that's just not right. Use the right terminology that fits the product. But Ford has these marketing guys that really like to do that, mess with your mind. But anyway, I wish they would quit doing that, because it's one of my pet peeves. So, good gauge cluster on this Chevy. I can see everything I want to know. Even though it's a base truck, it doesn't have all the fancy gauges or the big, and it tells you a lot of stuff, but normal gauge cluster's got about everything you want. So you guys want us to drive these basic work trucks, and that's what this is. I mean, this is good. I mean, it's got a few amenities. And it's got that cool bumper step and the step behind the cab, so you can use your crossover toolbox and actually reach it, which I really like. Those are all good features this truck has. That steers well. It's nothing wrong with the steering. It is a recirculating ball like all your semis have. We're doing fine. This is not a high-speed highway, so we're not going to max out the truck. We're going from 35 to 45, sometimes 55. Similar to all these winding roads in the mountains. And that's another thing. I'm not mean to bash on Chevy, but this does not have a telescoping wheel. It's got a tilt, which is good, as we've had for a while, and everybody with a telescoping wheel, but this base model doesn't, like the higher models do. I was kind of surprised. And I think it's a good interior for a work truck. This is exactly how I would like it. Just I want some storage in this armrest. But it did well. Yeah, the gross on this, if you were the max you could haul on a bumper pull is 14,500. We're just 1,000 pounds less than that. Gross vehicle weight rating is 10,650, and I love that sticker. I will have to show that on camera. I love that sticker down there. It shows you everything. Because, you know, combined weight rating in the max is 24,000, and we are 21,000. And it's a 6'10" bed. Payload is 3,446, which is very good payload for this 6-speed. And the MSRP on this is 48,420. So that's actually pretty, you know, it's a reasonable price. 20-inch wheels. Yipper, 373 axle ratio. We talked about that. And this, let's see. That's the highlights of this custom. It's got an auto locking rear differential, so you can't push a button, which I like to do, but I have to wait for something to slip, like what a limited clutch does, but it's supposed to be a locker. It's an automatic one. And I thought this had a really good leaf spring package, but it still squatted, you know, 4-inch with 16,000 pounds, just like the Ford did. So I don't know if that's a new thing where we have to use squat, and then the American trucks are going to have to have that little dial on their lights so your headlights can move up and down with your load, which kind of is a cop-out to having a really good suspension, like an air suspension, where it doesn't squat at all. I'd like to see them all with an air suspension. And these have, you know, the front independent, where, you know, Ford and Ram or a monobeam, a solid axle. This is independent. And that should help with the ride. You would think it would. And it used to, and not this year. I need to find out. Yeah, the monitor in the middle there, it is 7 inches. And Apple CarPlay, all the normal new stuff that's on there. Rubberized vinyl floor mats. I like the rubber floor mats because, you know, especially a custom or an off-road truck, you know, you got to hose out the mud, because I do get trucks dirty on the floor. We're actually going to work on an aftermarket interview with the managing under the seat at the back and the mud floor mats that just arrived. So I'll be doing videos on those real soon. And let's see, the value package is $1,880 for the remote vehicle start, rear window defrost, LED lights in the bed, and that the tailgate lift assist, power lock and release. And it has a trailer brake controller where it should be. It's a really nice place that they have it, and the adjustment on it. And let's see, it's got the trailer and mirrors. These are manual though, but it does power fold, so that's something cool for it. We can hear the RPMs at 3,000. That tow haul mode really does work on this. Works pretty darn well. It's holding me coming down this hill, and we got all these switchbacks on the road to Estes. We have a lot of little downhill bumps, and it's amazing. That's how it was coming up the hill too. It would shift down, give you more power climbing the hill. So I'm actually really happy with this truck when it comes to grade shifting and tow haul mode. With, you know, towing 13,500, this is what you want, to have that confident feel going down the road. But anyway, wind is still crazy, and we're going to be fun on this highway. But see, on this road, it's a smooth road, and the truck ride's fine. It's just when you get on a rough road that it tells you that it's not as smooth as the last series of Chevy heavy duties was. But hopefully they'll fix that right away, do something with the spring pack or whatever they can do, because that's been always such a nice thing about Chevy trucks in the past, is they steered really well, and they handled well, the suspension was soft, and you didn't get jerked on these big heavy trucks. And so hopefully that is something they're working on. We can hear that wind outside the truck. It's just whistling hard. But oh well, now we got climate change. So the wind never stops here by Estes, and that's really weird. So pretty soon all those buildings are going to be leaning when they build a new building during the wind.
Yeah.
Oh, if you hear that, 4,000 RPM. Just barely touched the brakes and it grade shifted. It's trying to save me, which is good. So I don't want to wear the brakes out. I want to use that transmission. So this 6-speed, even though it's a 6-speed, not a 10, it holds those RPMs well because it runs at higher RPMs than what a 10-speed would. So I think that it's a calibration thing. They can change that on those 10 speeds, but this 6-speed is doing well for grade shifting automatically. And when I hit the brakes, and when it senses that I'm dropping that much of a percentage, I'm liking this coming down the hill. This has the gooseneck wheel package with 1090, and it gives you the ball and all the things for it, and of course the harness. The sprayed in bed liner, and the holes cut out for the bed. That's all part of that package for 1090. This has the work step, which is the running board. Has a roof marker lamps. But yeah, it's a nice package. Well, done with the drive. I got the trailer home. Got to unhook it now. It's a heavy beast. So I was going to do the trailer ability and function control score, because this really is a trailering truck. I mean, you don't buy a 3/4 ton and don't use it. You buy it to haul loads in the truck and haul loads on a trailer. So trailer control, I thought that was good. I'm trying to think if there's anything at all that I didn't like about the way I handled the trailer, because I didn't use the weight distributing hitch, because of these heavier trucks you don't have to. And it's a low profile trailer. If it was a box trailer, 8 feet tall, I would have probably used it, but the wind didn't affect this trailer. So I don't have any problem at all with the trailer control. I'm going to go 20. Handling and squat. The 4-inch squat, and it seems like that's what they all do, except for Ram with the air suspension. I don't know why they're doing that. But, yeah, no problem controlling the trailer. And truck handling was fine. I other than squatting. So I got to take a little off of squatting. So, shoot. I'm trying to figure out how much I should take off for squatting. Well, I got to remember this, because I take the same amount off for the Ford next week, because I know it squats 4 inches with a full-size trailer. 16,000. We're going to go 13,500. We're going to tell several loads. So I'm going to go with 17. Reaching the controls. Well, I love it that they straighten out the steering wheel and that the brake controller is right there. It's just perfect for my hand. So I'd give them a 20 for that, because I think that's great. The mirrors and window visibility. Window visibility, it's a little smaller than the Ford. The Ram's getting to be the size. They're all, Ford. General Motors always shrunk from the top because of all the on whatever that on stuff is. The OnStar. Seems like that box lowers the windshield for some reason. But and then you look at the mirrors. The mirrors are okay. They don't have the same reach that the Ram does, and they're kind of a weird looking mirror. But I didn't have a problem seeing it. I wish the mirror was bigger. I wish the top piece was bigger, and I wish the spotter mirror was bigger. But oh well. Really not a whole lot bad about the mirrors. And the visibility, I got to take off a little bit. And back visibility is good. And part of the visibility problem is this giant hood that's non-functional on the gas truck. I put up with that on the diesel because it needs it. It has a purpose, but this one is just for looks, so that irritates me somewhat. So for visibility, and a little off from the mirrors, I'm going to have to cut it down to 17. Squat. Acceleration with the trailer. I did squat on here twice because I was going to do another thing with that, but we're fine. Acceleration with the trailer. I don't think it has quite enough power, but when you're getting down the road and you're moving, you have no problem accelerating. Long grades, you lose some of that ability, which may be helped with the 10-speed, or might be helped with the 410 rear end. This has got 373. So it's not like it was something I brag about how it accelerates with the trailer. So again, I'm going to drop it to 17. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10 points, and I have basically only taken off 9. So that makes it 91, right? I think so. I think that makes it 91. Because 1, 2, 3, that's 9 off of 100 is 91. So that's the score on this 2500 2020 Chevrolet Silverado. The HD crew cab, short bed, which is 6'10", which is almost a long bed. big trailer, big truck. So 91, that's a good score because it is a machine that's made to tow. I like what they've changed, the brake controller and the steering wheel. And that's what I think.